All right, we'll let the music take us out. Great time to get started. Thank you all for being here. Let's fire up our video so you can see all the beautiful faces. We are in. Okay, so everyone who's joining, thank you for coming. We're here to talk about the state of customer experience. We have an awesome panel, and we're going to dive into some questions that hopefully help you define what customer experience is, some of the tactics that you can implement, and then ultimately, how can you measure it and know that it's working? Just a quick intro of the backend team that's running this. I'm Joe Van Senna, and I'm going to be emceeing, asking some questions. I'm the product marketing manager at Loop. I've been here for about 3 years, helping build the sales side. We also on the back end have Graham Kemp. Graham is making sure under the hood everything for this event is running smoothly, so you guys can get the information you need and not be distracted by any tech problems. And that's enough about us. I think at this point, we'd love to pass it over to our panelists and let them introduce themselves so you can get an idea of the insights you're getting. Melissa, would love to start with you. And Melissa, you're on mute. It's okay. It's the Zoom culture these days.
It's every time, every time. So hello, thank you, Melissa, Director of Customer Experience here at SHEFIT. Been in many industries, so I can't just say just customer support, experience, service for many years, 10 years, but the majority of customer experience I've focused on using like Ron Kaufman's beliefs of unbelievable service, and that can come no matter who your customer is, whether it's an internal team or an external team. So I'm always striving for anyone that I work with to reach for that unbelievable service. He's an awesome author. So read that book. SheFit is we started as a sports bra, but we're branching into the athletic apparel industry with leggings and other articles of clothing coming out too. But we hang our hat on our ultimate sports bra, and our beliefs that we're giving women, girls, or anyone who needs a bra really the power to take control of their bodies through revolutionary, innovative equipment that helps them break the barriers or the physical limitations that they might have. So that's a little bit about me and SheFit.
Love it. Thank you. Happy to have you here. Stephanie, I'll throw it your way.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Bregman. I'm the CMO for Manly Bands. And Manly Bands, just to give you a little bit of background on them, Manly Bands has really taken over the men's ring space. We've basically, the background of the company is owner of the company, John and Michelle, are co-owners, just decided that they wanted to get married and could not find a ring that would work for them. John's a self-proclaimed bigger guy, and he worked really hard to try to find something that would fit. And he went into a store. They didn't even have a ring sizer that would fit him. They had a really poor customer service experience in the store. They pulled out a catalog and said, "Here are three options, and they're thousands of dollars." And he said, this is not for me. He was like, I want something that's unique for me. I actually care about, this ring I'm going to wear the rest of my life. And so after going on websites and buying something online and getting his ring shipped in a dime bag, he said, there's got to be a better way. And so that's how Manly Bands was started. I was lucky enough to start with them about 2 years ago. But the company has taken off, and my background, I have an e-commerce background. I've been working in the e-commerce business for over 15 years now, which I know ages me, but I love it. And this is one of the most amazing companies I've ever had the opportunity to work for. Really big mission on giving back and customer service and all of that. So I'm really happy to be part of the panel today.
And for those of you who haven't seen the Manly Bands YouTube video, you must see it. Why buying a ring doesn't have to suck. It is absolutely hilarious. Recommend you check that out if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah. And we're constantly putting out new content. We have a couple new videos that are coming out this week with the Chris Harrison. So I can't wait to show you those when they come out.
Love it. Awesome. Philippe, thrown it your way. Let's see what you're all about.
Yeah, thanks so much. And yeah, Stephanie, it's great working with many bands on the Gorgias side here. I love how the website is built when you guys are communicating. Just and can't wait to see Mr. Harrison on those hero landing pages that you have beautiful images for Christmas. Yeah, quick word about myself. So I manage partnerships and business development at Gorgias. We're a help desk for e-commerce. We power over 5,000 customers and help them manage all of their conversations in one interface linked with their Shopify store, BigCommerce as well, and Magento nowadays. Prior to Gorgias, I was a co-founder at Dealey's, a retailer that did $10 million online in their first year. That was quite the experience, and we actually were the first large client for Gorgias as well. So coming from the e-commerce retailer background and now helping thousands of merchants to improve their customer experience online.
And also has a great integration with Loop. We love Loop Gorgeous team, and you guys have been great to work with. So I'll use that integration as a segue into Tim from our Loop team. Take it away.
Great. Thanks, Joe. Hi, everyone. My name is Tim Buza, the VP of Marketing at Loop. So I've been at Loop for 4 months now, coming up on 5 in a few weeks, which is crazy to say. So running marketing here, been in e-commerce for quite some time as well, Stephanie. So I was in the early days of e-commerce at Constant Contact. Was there for quite a long time. Moved over to Zayas, which was a customer data platform, is a customer data platform, and then been at Loop for a while now. So run marketing at Loop, also co-host of The Exchange, which is a new podcast that we have that's focused all around the same topics. So retention, brand, customer experience, building connections with customers. So really excited to have the conversation. I think I have some perspective to add, which is great, but just so excited to have you all with us. And just a word about Loop for those who don't know. So we are a returns platform, and we really pioneered the exchange experience for the Shopify ecosystem. So customers can shop more confidently, knowing that they can always find the product that they love. They can always do an exchange really simply. And to Joe's point, integrate quite nicely with Gorgias as well on the customer experience side. So happy to be here with all of you.
Awesome. All right. So before we dig into the questions, just another call out that we have an awesome panel. And from our side, we do have some questions. We'll start leaning into these topics and the topic of customer experience. But for those of you listening, it's also a great opportunity for you all to ask questions. There's a Q&A button at the bottom of the bar. Please be posting any questions you have for any of our panelists. We'll be monitoring, and Graham will be checking in so that you all can get your questions answered live. If not live, if we have too many, we run out of time, we'll send them out to you via email afterward. So please feel free to participate. All right, let's dig into it. The state of customer experience, right? So one of the things we thought about in putting this panel together is that everyone talks about customer experience, and it can mean so many different things and different things to different brands. And everyone claims to have a great customer experience, but how do we know? So wanted to start with our brand panelists. And Melissa, we'll start with you. So when you think of customer experience, what's your North Star? What's the most important thing that you focus on to build it?
Honestly, what it all comes down to for us is listening to the actual customer's voice. So giving them an output, but then also analyzing the sentiment around it. A lot of times we get a good feel for how we're doing on social media. We're very in tune to our social media channels, answering just about every comment we can on every channel that we post on or advertise on, answering questions or just high-fiving those women who talk about how wonderful our product is, and then in the same side listening when they're frustrated too, right? So if you get the same comment over and over, it really gives you a chance to dive into that so you can fix that. When I think of customer experience, it's not just when somebody calls, texts, or live chats or sends an email asking for help with something because they're frustrated. I think about how our ads made them feel, how our posts made them feel. Did we move, touch, and inspire them? Did we give them the courage to do something they've never done before? Right down to when they purchase our product, was it easy? Was our website fast? Was it difficult? Did they have any problems? Were they confused about what they were buying or what size they were getting? Did they have confidence to know that they can exchange it? just eliminating all of the friction that you can. And the only way to do that is to listen. So that's what we do. I can't tell you um, the number of tools that we have that to listen and analyze, but the data doesn't lie, and the true words from the customer is really how we keep track of what we're doing.
There's so much to do and so much to measure, and a lot that you shared. And I love that it's always important to listen. How do the customers respond?
And Melissa, you mentioned social media and like monitoring social media and listening there. Can you tell us a little more about that? Like, who's doing that on your team, and I don't know, like how long? Like, is it in real time, or is there dedicated time? I'm just curious of the mechanics of that.
Yeah, so we, like I said, we answer every channel, every comment, every question that we can as much as we can. Technology has not only made it a little bit more difficult, but also a little bit more efficient. Um, so all day, we're Eastern Standard Time. So when I say all day, typically 9 to 5. We've got 17 um, agents that are there. It's the customer support team. We call them fit experts because really that's the number one question we get: what size should I buy? But so all of our fit experts are monitoring all of the channels their entire shift during the day, and then we tag team it in the evenings to make sure we touch base with those people that are scrolling their phone while they're nursing their baby, or unwinding with a glass of wine after a long day, scrolling through the channels. So we're in the evening also. We have live chat up, but for social media, who's really answering it are our I would say the younger agents, the more hip agents, the ones that know the language and what to look for, and they're responding in the same way that our brand speaks in. So we say that everyone here at SheFit's your badass girlfriend. So that's how we respond to our social media. We do use a couple platforms, and sometimes the ads get a little tricky because those don't filter into some places, but we use a ticketing system. It's not gorgeous, unfortunately, but looking to move that direction.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, right. So we hope so, because they make it a lot easier, that's for sure.
Uh,
But we're just regular people that answer these in real time. We have a less than 8 hour response time on all of our comments, so I think that's pretty darn good.
I have another follow-up question on that, if I may. Is so you get a lot of data, obviously, and you're mentioning like about the listening aspect, but how do you aggregate those and help take decision from like those aggregated comments? Because you can't just like each individually, every comment or every email, use that as it's a starting point, but it's not what informs your decision in the end. It's like the aggregated amount.
Yeah, so it's really manual right now. So it's a lot of work. There are a couple tools out there that we have trialed that that are on the higher, more expensive, fancy end that can aggregate social listening and tell you your brand sentiment and how your customers are feeling. But for the most part, right now, we are paying attention and pulling those words out and analyzing them on a regular basis manually, and it's really cumbersome. So it's a lot of hard work to make sure that we've got our ears in the right place and we're paying attention. We've also done a pretty extensive market research with a large group of our email list, and we sent out a pretty awesome survey and got some really great feedback from our current customer list, and that gave us a starting point as to what to watch for. But there's tools out there. We're not using them. We're doing it all manually right now.
I love it. There's so much to unpack there, and we're going to get to the tactics section, and I can't wait to dig into some more of those strategies. But Stephanie, bringing it back up to a high level for you, there's so many different definitions of customer experience, and what's the lens that you look at it through?
Yeah, I mean, we look at it from a storytelling perspective. I've always done that with any of the companies that I've worked with in the past, but with Manly Bands, it's very different. We look at the customer journey from the time they see our ads until the time they get the product. We want to make sure that when we sell them something, that when we give them the product, that we present it in a way that makes them feel special. We don't want them to have a bad experience, and so our brand voice is very big for us. The Manly Bands brand voice, I always joke around saying, if you want to work for Manly Bands, you have to be a little quirky. We try to have fun. Um, one thing that we do that's really fun on the social side, because I heard you ask that question, is we actually, during COVID, obviously, a lot of people were out of work, including comedians who could not do stand up. So we actually hired a comedian who's amazing, who answers all of our social comments. So if you have a chance to scroll through those, it's a good laugh. But I've had customers who've said, I bought from your site because of the way you responded on social media, because of how funny you were, or the video content that we've done. We put so much emphasis in our creative team to make sure that the experience for them is special, because on the manly band side, like this, our products, we sell such cool products, rings with dinosaur bone and meteorite and antler and camo and other more traditional materials. But this is the most important product that a guy is going to really get in his entire life. He's going to wear this the rest of his life. Hopefully they'll get more than one, but this is very important to them. So we want to make this special. So we put a lot of effort into the creatives to making sure that the customer experience is fun, exciting. I don't know about anybody on the panel, but I mean, I got married 11 years ago. It's stressful. We don't want to make it any worse for them. And so we try to make sure that within our marketing, the way that we present our products, the customer service that we offer, I mean, we have a 98% rating for customer service, which is insane. I've never worked at a company with such a high rating. And it's because every customer is treated separately. Every situation is different. Um, I brand storytelling is the most important piece, listening to the customer and bringing that back, and making sure that when we tell that story, whether they're looking at the first time they've seen our brand in a first prospecting ad to retargeting ads, we want to make sure that we constantly are answering questions along the way as they try to make that decision, because they don't always make the decision the first day they see a ring. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, and we want to make sure that we help them find that answer and get them that perfect product.
So I want to lean into something that you've said about the storytelling. And I think one thing that jumps out to me as a brand, many brands that we've talked to on the Loop side, they're always focused on the story and what's the meaning or the deeper purpose in what they're bringing to the customer. At the end of the day, it's just a product, but what's the actual purpose for you? And so I think a lot of brands relate to that. And when they think of scaling a team, they do want this alignment to the story and making sure that all of the folks have a unified voice, which can look like a script or I don't know what. So that's why I'd love to lean in with you. How do you go about making sure your team is aligned when telling the story, since it's so important to the experience?
Well, I think the first thing that we do is every department head has to be aligned on what that story and that vision is. We lay that out typically on the marketing side of what's our brand voice look like, what's our vision, what's our mission, what do we want to accomplish, how do we want our customers to perceive us, and then we make sure that every line of communication we have, and there's a lot of them. There's social, there's email, there's paid ads, there's TV, there's radio, and every single point along the way has to be touched. And so we have our own creative director who's incredible, and we make sure that any asset that goes out that touches them first, to make sure that all of our brand voice stays consistent. Whenever we run promotions, we work really closely with customer service, because we want to make sure that what we're doing is going to work for the customers. There's times where we wanted to cut promotions off at 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, and they're like, that doesn't work for us. And so having that kind of feedback come back to the marketing side, it allows us to make the right decision so that the next time we keep learning and growing together. But their feedback is super imperative to all the growth that we have. Seeing the comments, like Melissa said, on social, and bringing back feedback to our product development team to come up with new ideas and new product lines. Like it all fits together. And so I think that every department has to really be cohesive. I know I'm sure we'll probably talk more about that later, but that's the way that I look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And just on the brand voice and tone statement, it's like, how do you define that and how do you roll this out in your organization? Gee, we talked a lot about that in the past, and I'll post a link here in the chat. But basically, make sure that as much as you have brand guideline and where it's like, hey, here's like the Pantone colors and our logo sizing and how we need to create content, create a brand voice document as well and share that internally alongside with your brand guidelines. So
Yeah, and
everybody should have that from the get-go.
Yeah, and every product we have has its own ring name, has its own product description, as if it's speaking to that person. But yeah, like we talk to people like they're people, like we're all going through the same things. Right now, we've just dealt with the worst pandemic in our lives. We're still going through it. A lot of brides were affected and grooms were affected by this. Having sympathy and understanding is really important, and that's another piece of it too.
Yeah, for the brands listening, like make sure that you define like what you are, what you're not. So in this case, it's like yeah, sympathy, empathy, and so on, but not like necessarily overly cocky at this time
We had
regarding
to,
associating
yeah,
with.
we had to restructure. We had to restructure our entire marketing plan as soon as COVID hit. We changed the entire way we spoke to our customers during those first 3 months, because we knew people were getting weddings canceled. We knew there was a lot of stuff going on, but we still wanted to use our brand humor. And I think the first ad we did was a cake with a bride and groom on the top of the cake that said, better to get, together, but just 6 feet apart. And you saw the bride and groom kind of separated on top of the cake. And at the time, people, were laughing because it's just we were trying to ease people's minds and let them know that we're going to be that voice of humor to help them get through this time, and that will, no matter what, we're still there for them. So
Love this. I think pulling a theme out of this, I'm hearing listening and creating empathy. It's ultimately going to come from the customers themselves. I think that's a great track for any brand listening to go down. Shifting gears, still in the definition of experience and what this means. Philippe, would love to start with you. So you're on the software side and supporting these brands. So through the lens of Gorgias, what's the most important thing to you and your company when building and helping brands build great customer experiences?
Yeah, really. So, like the North Star, which was your first question for us, we think obviously customer satisfaction should be there as one of the main point. And on the on the software side, how we measure that is through NPS. On the customer brand side, it's more through the satisfaction rating that you can inquire your customers about. So make sure that you turn this on right from the get go and enable it on most channel where it's available to understand really like how does a customer feel after talking to one of your agent, and then you can use that as a gear to reward or incentivize or provide some coaching to your customer service agents and have a more uniform experience. And then you'll also figure out like which topic maybe like create a little bit like less positive experience, and how can you then work toward improving those those experiences around like maybe return that's like sometime a painful one, but you guys make it easy. So definitely like that's one side. But now like when I also operate on brand on the side, and I'm really looking at ways to like understand how like a customer is experiencing our brand, and the referral, the ability to create referrals. So like that net promoter score, how do you transform that into actual sales? So like how can you embed like call to actions to refer other clients along the journey, is really something that I'm starting to think a lot about. So like true customer service, positive interaction, how do you transfer that into a positive like referral to someone else, and how do you track all of this? But then also through your email flows, through potential SMS, how do you like create those experiences that will allow you to grow your business organically through like your existing customer base? I think that's like the revenue side of the positive customer experience is really something that every brand should really focus on nowadays, because just ads are so expensive. So if you're only like banking on your traffic, it gets really tough.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. That acquisition has just become table stakes at this point. Everyone has access to the same tools, but what do you do with the customers once you get them?
Right.
Yeah, great call out. Tim, we'll throw it over to you. I think would love to hear from your side and from the Loop perspective. What's the North Star and the most important thing?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about this all the time in between our four walls, virtual four walls at Loop is, um, when you're thinking about creating a great customer experience, we're always going to look through the lens of how does returns and how do exchanges fit into a great customer experience. And I think it's like important to set the table with the way you think about a return. So typically, what we always say is a return does not equal a refund. Those are two different things. They're not synonymous. A return can be a refund, it can be a gift card, it can be store credit, it can be an exchange. But so often in the industry, we think of a return as just a loss. Like we're just going to do everything we can to optimize to get some of their money back as fast as they can. But to us, and it's sort of how I introduced us at the beginning of the session, of customer experience is just all about giving your customers using customer experience to differentiate yourselves and making sure that they feel great about the interaction that they had with you, like similar to what Stephanie talked about with, we want people, we want to show empathy, and we want to show people that we do care. So the way that we think about it is customer experience is all about giving your customers a second chance to go find the perfect product that they're going to love, that they're going to take home, and they're going to say, this is exactly what I wanted. I might not have got it right the first time, but by doing a simple exchange, now I have the product that I really need. um, we always just say, people people bought from you for a reason, so you've done all the work up front to let them know about your brand, let them know who you are, how great your products are. And I mean, it's just a very common thing in e-commerce that you might just get the wrong size. I mean, we see something like 60% of returns in across Shopify brands are just because it's the wrong size. It doesn't mean that they bought a product they didn't like. So why wouldn't you just be super empathetic and do everything you can to just get the right product into that person's hands? Another thing that we talk about is just return policies in general, and how does that fit within a great customer experience? And I think we've, as an industry, we've slipped into this world where we think of a return policy as legal jargon, and you're writing for all the exceptions that you don't want to have to pay out for, as opposed to just writing to a customer. And I think a really good example of this, a brand that uses us, is like, go to Brooklinen's return page. It's phenomenal. I mean, it is the epitome of customer experience and empathy. And return policy shouldn't be punitive. It should be simple. It should be a way for a customer to just make sure that they get a product that they love. And we talk about this a bit hyperbolically at Loop, but we mean it in a lot of ways. Of, if you were to ask every single one of your customers, rate the product that you bought from us on a scale of 1 to 10. If someone's a 9.9 and they're not a 10, you should let them return the product. Like, why wouldn't you? I mean, if you could make that person even a little bit happier by getting a product that they truly love, you're creating a fan for life, and you're creating someone who will refer you out, or who will refer your brand to someone else. So really similar to what Philippe said, and I come from the acquisition side of e-commerce. It's a tough game, and you need to be looking for repeat customers and referrers and loyal customers, and we just believe that returns really fits into that customer experience in a pretty important way.
This is wonderful. We have a great perspective from all different sides. I feel like we have awesome on the men's and the women's side of the brand, and then also on the software side, we're getting a full picture. Um, so I'd love to kind of shift gears and get a bit more tactical. We have this idea of what customer experience means to us and what it can mean to the brands that are listening. And Stephanie, I'd like to give this to you. What's a strategy or initiative that, using the storytelling and the perspective of customer experience that you have, a strategy or initiative that you feel impacts customer experience the most? Something that a brand could action that might be listening.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things there. I mean, I think that for us, our strategy is obviously we want to grow, but we want to make sure that that our customers really are happy with what we're doing with our products, with the way that our with our customer service. And so, we have done a whole bunch of different things this year and different initiatives to help, um, really really kind of heighten our brand. So, the first initiative that we had this year was, we've had different, like I think I mentioned before, we've had couple of different like licensing projects that happened. One initiative that's kind of interesting that I talk about a lot is the fact that we have a custom ring section. So what we've done with that is when customers start giving us ideas for like different kinds of products or rings they want, we use that to kind of help filter that down into what kind of products we want to see on the other side to come onto the website that other customers may want. So that's probably the first thing I was going to mention, that we really we really listen deeply at what customers are looking for, and they have the best ideas, and they help drive some of these product initiatives. One customer came to us a couple of years ago, and they wanted to put a guitar string around their wedding band, and I was like, I mean, like, how cool is that? And we're constantly getting feedback like that. With regards to other things that we've done, during like Black Friday, Cyber Monday holidays, we've done initiatives like, free silicone band. We had a lot of customers telling us they want a men's wedding band, but they need something to wear while they're while they're going to the gym, or while they are doing things outside of like a typical environment that they would want to wear a fancier wedding band. And so we thought, how great would it be if we incorporated a free silicone band with that? That's been super successful. Customers love the fact that when they get their band, they can also get a free silicone band. And then during the holidays, we added a free T-shirt to that. But I think that we're just constantly listening to what customers are asking us and trying to implement new products, new ideas, and things that just continue to help us grow and to build that brand awareness.
I have to ask because we're around the holidays. You mentioned giving gifts and adding plus ones like add-ons and things to a customer's order. Is this
Yeah.
exclusively a holiday tactic or something that is part of your experience all year round?
No, this was brand new for us. We wanted to try it. We're starting to increase our customer merchandise with the kind of products that we sell. A lot of people, at least 50% of them will stay married, we hope. But 100% of them hopefully will keep their rings. But beyond the ring, we hope that we can get them to purchase other things that are important to them at the time of that ring purchase. So we're going to start getting into doing some more merchandise giveaways and things like that. But we want to get honest feedback from customers and what they think about it. So it's kind of almost like an initiative that we started during the holidays as a giveaway, but then also as an idea of whether or not we want to continue selling other merchandise like this to help spread brand awareness, and also we're also creating product that's really cool. Things that people would really want to wear, things with messages, things that probably I'm trying to think, what can I say on this call? But we had a really fun T-shirt idea where the guy was giving the ring finger to 2020, kind of a thing. So, but just really fun concepts, things that we want to test out to see what people would be willing to buy. But we know that during this process, when people are getting married and they're wearing their wedding band, there's other things that they're going to need, and so just coming up with those ideas and figuring out other options for them is kind of on the horizon. So it's dual purpose with that.
It's the great debate of what to do in promotions around the holidays. So I love it, and good luck. Melissa, let's do the same thing to you. Would love to hear some strategies and tactics, something that's actionable that you've implemented that's boosted your customer experience.
Oh gosh. One of the big things for our product, our main product, our bra, it's revolutionary. It's been scientifically proven to reduce breast movement by 33% more than any other sports bra on the market. Anyone, we know that our competitors are out there buying our products from us and trying to test it and figure out what it is. I mean, our technology is patented, so we know we own that space on the best possible product. But there's a barrier there because it's just so different that when women put it on, it feels different. It feels restricting. It feels uncomfortable, and they're like, "There's no way I am sending this back because it's not for me. It doesn't fit or it doesn't work." Well, if it doesn't fit or it doesn't work for you, it's because you're in the wrong size. And so something that we really focused on through 2020 was initiating live video fittings with our customers. So I've got fit experts that are trained to get you in the right fit, and we're convinced. It's called Sarah, our founder and designer. She calls it the aha moment when you put on your bra and it fits the right way, and you give it the bounce test and it works. It's almost every time. I can tell you, every woman that gets in the right fit, they're like, this is what it's supposed to feel like, and it's the aha moment. And so we opened up video fittings where you can get on a call with a live fit expert, and right now you're able to schedule them on our website, but anytime you're live chatting with an agent or you send an email or you call us, a lot of people still like to talk on the phone. Like they just want to talk to a live person. And so you're speaking with someone who knows how to fit your bra every time you contact SheFit, and they'll hop on a video call with you right then and there. I empower my agents to ask them if they have an iPhone. Do you want to do a FaceTime? We'll do a FaceTime right now. Let's hop on the phone. I'm wearing my bra. I'll show you how it's supposed to work. So that's what our agents do. They're all trained. They're all wearing our product every day. So at any moment they can hop on a live video call with one of our customers. And after, you would be surprised the amount of times. I think our statistics say 88% of the people that sign up for video fittings that wanted to initiate a return actually end up keeping their bra because it was just an adjustment thing. And so now it fits and it works and they didn't even need to return it. But so video fittings and live interactions with real people was our big initiative. Response time was huge for us. And back in April and May, we were slammed, and I think we were on a 3-day response time wait, and it was just awful. It was breaking our hearts. We were working round the clock to try to get to everyone as fast as possible, but we like to make sure that everyone gets responded to in less than 24 hours. So if we don't, we definitely show you the love and help you out in any way we can to make it up to you, because it's really important to us.
Fantastic about what you just shared. Is it's not only something that's sympathetic and helping out the customer's experience, but it's also bridging this gap of the retail and physical world that so many brands are trying to tackle. So absolutely love that. Commend you guys for doing it.
Yeah, thanks.
Philippe, I want to tweak this question and ask it to you, because from your perspective, you have, thousands, I think tens of thousands of support agents working through your tool every day. So what are some takeaways or strategies that you've seen work in aggregate when it
Well,
comes to building
so
customer?
I think Melissa is right on where she's bringing support. And now it's about making those experiences more seamless for the agents. Like, we shouldn't have in the near future to ask our agents to like turn on their phone and like give their own personal connection data points to like to the customers that are on the website. It's really about like creating those multi-channel interactions, all integrated, very seamless. And if the customer is in a pre-sale or post-sale, wants to chat live, eventually on video with an agent right there, right now, like that needs to be possible. And yes, that's like the near future where it's going, where there's not yet like a piece of technology that's enabling that at scale in an integrated way, but where 100% this is where we want to bring all merchants toward. And that's like that was accelerated because of COVID. Recreating those retail-like experiences online. And how can you do that at scale for your clients? Well, so the phone, the way that you propose the video chat doesn't scale super well, but like having, for example, chat campaigns on your website that is creating specific content for people depending on where they are in their journey. So if they're on the home page, like, hey, you can have like a proactive message. If they're on the return page, you can have a different message that's like, hey, you're about to initiate a return. Are you sure? Like, why don't you talk to us right now? So having like those different interactions that are triggered automatically depending on where the people are in their journey can really bring this experience to the next level and make sure that those customers engage with your brand. And I'd be curious, I'm just sending this back to Melissa, but I'm like, did you ever try any of those strategies in pre-sale? And like, have you seen like, or have you even tried to measure the conversion rate on somebody that's like dials in through video before buying versus like your average conversion rate? I would imagine it's like, yeah, close probably to like 80% conversion rate if somebody is like dial in on a specialist before purchasing, right?
Yeah, it's actually currently 98%. So 98% of people who have a video fitting before they purchase their initial size end up keeping that size that they get and never initiate a return. So that it's a super successful rate, and we're just trying to figure out how we can make that viral. So how can I have as many video fitters as possible trained to get people in the right size the first time, because that is huge. And we always say, if I can just get you in the right size, I promise you will not return that bra. So that's the kicker for us, is getting the right size. So we have triggers, and I call it stalking our customers online when they're on different web pages, and you can like go and be like, oh, hey, I see you're looking at this. And so I always tell my agents, well, if you're all cut up in your tickets, you can go internet stalk people and help them out. So it's like following them around a physical retail store, and you're like, oh, I see you're looking at those jeans. Would you like some help with sizing? And it's like that on our website too. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's it. That's the future of mass
Kind
customer
of creepy.
service. Right? Yeah, it's a little bit creepy, but
Yeah.
it's
I see you're looking at our ultimate sports bra from your iPhone sitting in your living room on your couch. No, I'm kidding. We can't see that. It doesn't get that detailed.
Stephanie, you wanted to chime in?
Yeah, I actually have a comment, and sorry, I'm sure there's a lawnmower behind me. So we, one of the things I was going to mention that I thought was really interesting, what you were saying, Melissa, is that we've been also putting a really huge focus on technology from a consumer standpoint. because one of the big obstacles we have as a ring company is sizing. So I'm sure you guys know this on the Loop side as well. So what we try to do is we try to offer a physical ring sizer. Obviously, it's been what we've been doing for all along. It helps really guarantee that we're not going to have to worry about going through the exchange process to make sure the customer is happy. But leveraging technology, like behind the scenes, we're working on like an app that will allow people to physically size their finger with like an app, so that we can stop the process of having them to get a ring sizer first to then get a ring. And so I thought that was so interesting, like Melissa, that you guys are doing that too, because it's AI for us is a really big deal, and also showcasing products in like a 360 view, or showcasing products in a way where customers have that control over the product, so that their expectations are met. Because color can come across on one screen versus another screen, and making sure that they can see it from every angle is so important. So that I just wanted to add that in there. But thank you for bringing that up, because I think that's so valuable.
Yes, this is.
Yeah.
I can imagine a ring is about the same thing as a bra, because
Yeah. It's hard to
I don't buy some jewelry sometimes because I can't remember what size my finger is, and
Yeah.
I should know what my ring finger size is, right? 'Cause it's the one ring that I know that I have, but I
Yeah.
don't. So yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Along with the customer experience, I see there's a question from Don here about customers' fulfillment and delivery experience with our product when they order. And I don't know how or when we were answering those questions, but so I'm not very good at technology, but I saw that, so I raised my hand that I would answer it. And customers' expectations for fulfillment and delivery right now are not being met. I can say that with 100% confidence. We try to go above and beyond for all of our customers that once that their order is placed, that it's shipped out the exact same day. We do tell people it's 1 to 2 business days for processing, which means someone actually physically picks their order and puts it in a bag and puts a label on it and gives it to our carriers. Um, and then once we hand it over to the carriers, we're kind of at the carrier's mercy. And we've tried really, really hard through this pandemic to communicate with all of our carriers on their expected delivery dates and delays and any information they can possibly give us. And it's gotten pretty hairy to the point that our customers are the ones suffering on the other end. So it's out of our control, but instead of pointing the finger elsewhere, we're trying to make up for that in communication the best that we can. And especially with the COVID pandemic that's going on right now, I know our United Postal Service has been hit really hard, and we're seeing delays of 14 business days where packages aren't even getting scans. And we did our part and got it out the door on time, which is huge and really important to us. And our warehouse works really hard at making sure that everyone's package gets out the exact same day. And if we are delayed, we communicate that to our customers. But I think that that's one of the biggest ways to surprise and delight your customers, is make sure that their stuff shows up quickly. Um, and right now it's out of our control with all of the COVID pandemics and shutdowns, and then we had some hurricanes and floodings, and so we see it's huge, weighing heavy on our customers. And so offering them replacement packages, I could ship out another one, but if it's probably going to get delayed also, so whichever one gets there first, send us back the one that gets there last. I don't know, but we do the best we can within our possible means. And right now, unfortunately, a lot of it's out of our control. So we just have to be really nice and really friendly and try to communicate up front if we do see any delays happening, and communicate that to those customers the best we can.
Can I share what Stephanie and Manly Bands are doing actually? So I don't know if you guys see my screen now, but that's on their website. And then you see that right under the add to cart button, you have like a dynamic fulfillment and shipping date with like different options that are in overlay. So that's pretty cool. You want to tell us a little bit more about like how you create this experience, and if that's an app or custom made or?
I cannot take credit for this. This is our amazing CTO and our team, our technology team, put this together. We did this because, for the same reason, we want to make sure that that we under promise and over deliver with every order that we place. So getting our products out in time for weddings is really imperative. If we don't get things to them, I mean, look, most guys do a pretty good job of getting them ahead of time. But we do get a lot of grooms who are like, I forgot to get my band. My wedding is next week, and we have to make sure that we don't let them down. It's so important for us. So, we do offer free shipping, obviously, US, Canada. We even have a program right now. We're offering free duty outside of the country as well. But we have this program set aside so that customers are really clear immediately before they place their order how long the expectation should be for when they will get their order and what options they have. Like, when's the soonest they can get it, which is why we put the soonest date there first and then let them choose what other options they have if they have extra time. So I think we've done a pretty good job on getting product to customers because we have to with rings. So our customers have been pretty happy. I'm sure mistakes do happen and things can happen, but we're always really quick to fix any kind of small errors that occur. But yeah, it's the COVID pandemic. That was a fun one as well. We had a ring shipping out from people's homes because we were concerned that they were going. We had to come up with a plan B just in case they wouldn't let people go into their businesses in the state of Utah. So we had backup plans, but yeah, it's for us. It's super important to make it as easy, quick. People kind of expect now to get their product yesterday. So so that's what we've done.
That's really cool.
We're seeing so many lines drawn between the logistics experience and the customer's experience, and it's so often overlooked. So I love that we were able to get to that point. And also a great call to look at the questions, Melissa. For everyone listening, I know we're at time, but we're having a great conversation going. And I think if all of you are willing to listen in, I'd love to see if we have any other questions coming in. Graham, have any been sent through to you that we can ask the team?
We've got one in the Q&A here. Have we already covered that one enough? Other than that, we have one other one that I had sent to me that's a little more tactical. What's the best way to collect feedback directly from your customers? So we kind of orbited this idea, and I think it's a really great question. Very tactical though, like how do we actually get that feedback from customers?
Sure. I mean, I think on the Manly Band side, our feedback is through is a couple things. Number one, UGC, user generated content, is huge for us. We're constantly asking for content, and then when we do get it, we ask them if we can use it for marketing because it's so good for us to be able to show other customers really enjoying our product. So we get a lot of feedback from UGC, from social media, from post purchase surveys that we put out. Um, you know, testimonials that we get from our emails that we send out. And then we also do a lot of other testing outside of that. So that's primarily, where we get most of our feedback from. But we're constantly always, looking for other like unique opportunities and ways to reach out. Like we've changed a lot of the ways that we communicate with our customers. Like you mentioned earlier, we're doing, we have SMS messaging. We're looking at now having two-way SMS messaging before we had more broadcast style messaging. So if someone does have a question or anything, that they can actually reach us through text. So just always trying to think outside the box, answering people through Messenger, just really all of these places kind of come together, and then customer service will share some of the feedbacks that have to do with us on the marketing side. But it's really important for us to understand how we are and where we stand. So
Yeah. How do we measure it? We use a customer satisfaction score when they communicate with our agents, but that's really supposed to focus on the agent experience. And sometimes our customers, they don't know the difference, and they end up rating our product versus the experience they had with their customer. And a lot of times, my big focus is trying to do preventative communication. So how can I prevent a customer from having a problem? And so listening to what they're saying or how they're feeling, or viewing other brands and seeing what they're doing is all. And like, that's a really awesome idea. We should implement that too. That would be really convenient. I spend a lot of time watching. I know I've said it before, social media, but then we also send out a review of our product. So we have a 30-day wash it, wear it, try it policy for our bras, because we are convinced that if you wear this bra to work out, and it's going to change your life and you're not going to return it. And so we really urge people to, keep it for 30 days and wear it before you send it back. And if you're not happy, you can still send it back. And that after that period, they get a review request. And a lot of times in those reviews, we'll get great stories and images. So we use those images on our website to show other customers real women in our bra, so they know that it's really true. We have I think we're over 5,000 or 6,000 now customer reviews, and it's 95% of them are 4 or 5 stars. Um, and then UGC on social media is huge too. Women love to see you share their stories on social media. So it's like they're famous for a second and they tag all their friends and it makes them feel good and gives them boost confidence. And so we're all about boosting confidence and making people feel good about themselves. So we do a lot of that also. And it's really just listening to them and making sure that they're heard and that we use their content in our messaging also, because that's who our community is. So why not use them, lead with them first?
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I love the idea of confidence. That's a term that I don't think gets thrown around often enough in the space, especially when you're wearing something that's expressive or comfortable or intimate in your
Yeah,
guys' case.
yeah.
Um, well, I think maybe my last question to wrap, I want to throw this back to Tim as we are orbiting this confidence piece, and a lot of this that we've been talking about as a group is product coming back, and ultimately that being a signal things are ending. So, Tim, from your perspective, how do you contribute to customer experience when it looks like the relationship is about to end?
Yeah, that's a good question. Some like a tactic that we suggest every single one of our customers use is to incentivize customers to do the behavior that you are looking to make them do. Like take acquisition principles and bring it into your return policy. So what that would literally look like is to incentivize customers to exchange versus refunding. And what it ends up looking like is when someone starts a return, um, they have a couple different options. So they can refund, they can get their money back, which what we find statistically speaking that does tend to signal the end of a relationship. That doesn't mean it's uniformly you'll never see that person again, but more times than not, that does typically mean that you're losing a shopper, for a first time shopper, I should say. So there can be a refund, there can be a store credit, gift card, and then lastly is the exchange. So again, like we are all about making sure customers can get the right product in their hand. So why wouldn't you want to incentivize that and keep that person happy and give that person something a little bit extra to make sure that they actually do an exchange? So what it ends up looking like is if I bought $100 pair of shoes, I don't know, at Allbirds, and I bought a size 9, but I'm actually a size 10. I go to the website. When I have an option to refund, or if I want to do an exchange, Allbirds will give me an additional $10 towards my order or $10 off my order if I'm willing to do an exchange. And what we find is that drastically reduces the number of people that ask for a refund. And if you consider yourself as a brand, if you consider the true cost of a refund, it's extremely expensive. It's not just the cost of the order, it's all of the cost that went into the initial order, the shipping in both directions, all of that. So we very much believe that, not only is it good for you as the merchant, as the brand, but like I said, our ethos is making sure that your customers are happy and making sure that they get something that they love. So making that simple and also incentivizing it and just saying, hey, look, like it looks like you got the wrong thing. No problem, happens all the time. We want to make sure you're happy. So not only are we going to make that simple for you, we're even going to take a little bit of money off the top, just to make sure that we do good on that process, on that promise. And like I said, I mean, like that is a way to take like an acquisition principle of incentivizing customers to do the thing that you want them to do and putting it in the post-purchase experience. And if you really do think of acquisition and post-purchase and like the big sphere around those things being customer experience, really, why wouldn't you incentivize and give a little bit more away to make sure that you are making that customer happier? I promise you will never miss that $5 incentive or $10 incentive if you make someone happy. In my example, like I bought more pair of Allbirds than I can count because they have just the simplest return policy you'd ever want. You can just keep sending it back until you find the right one. And I can't even count the number of people I've referred to Allbirds because I'm like, yeah, the most comfortable shoes in the world. They don't have half sizes, but it's okay. Like you can just exchange until you get the right one. And that might be like nails on a chalkboard if you're like on the operation side and saying, oh my God, like what is that going to end up costing? But if you really think of the cumulative effect of that from a customer experience perspective, I promise you the benefits will outweigh the risks of doing that. So it's a principle that we talk about all the time. The tactic is incentivize people to exchange, but it's such a broad principle when it comes to just doing right by your customers.
Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. Keeping an eye on the time, I want to thank everyone for jumping on and listening and staying extra. If you did decide to stay extra for the bonus content here, to all the panelists, Stephanie, Melissa, Philippe, Tim, thank you. This has been an awesome discussion. And yeah, Don, thanks for the question. Love seeing that come through. Awesome. Well, we will follow up with an email on the content that you've seen today, and you can engage with us there. Also, feel free to check out the brand sites that we mentioned today. Would be awesome to look at gifts or just support some brands that you know are doing things the right way. Amazing. Well, with that, we will wrap, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.